Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's that time again when we talk about the portfolio. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you all the buys, all the sales. I'm going to show you what my plans are. I'm making a few changes. Okay, I've already made some changes. I've sold one of the stocks that I had in my portfolio for quite some time. And then I'm going to show you the total income that I've received this month from the one property that I own, as well as the total dividends. If you want to know the individual companies that paid me the dividends and how much I've made in the last month, have a look at the last video, the May video, where I talked about the dividends I've received. Okay, but before we do that, what I'm trying to do here is not a financial advice. All I'm doing is sharing my journey. If you like this type of content and you like the transparency, and hopefully this is helping you kind of understand how to invest in the stock market, to see some examples, good or bad, right? Then please like the video, subscribe to the channel, because it really helps. Okay, it doesn't cost you a penny to like the video, but it really helps me and the channel. If you would like to help the channel overall, then obviously you can help us by going into the Patreon account, sign up, where you'll get these things. Okay, so I'm not asking you to just sign up for nothing. It took me a lot of time to create these dividend calendars, the dividend trackers, the ETF trackers, and so on. And we're trying to build some sort of a private Discord where we can actually get like-minded brothers and sisters to share their good practices, to share what they're doing. That's still very small, but it's growing, alhamdulillah. So we'll try to build that, inshallah. So if you want to help the channel, please do that. Also help the channel by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and so on. I'm definitely not a financial advisor, so everything I'm doing here is just showing you my journey, and hopefully you'll benefit from it. Now let's get to the video. I don't want to make this video any longer. So first of all, we're going to talk about the buys and sales. Okay, the spreadsheet that I'm using, it's the one that's available to you. So you got that if you sign up for the Patreon account. You could see basically the portfolio value right now, the year dividend income, how much I have received in dividends since I started this portfolio, and the dividend targets for the 2023. Basically it's 1,700, let's say. Okay, and right now we're on 1,700. Sorry, basically my target was 2,500. Again, would I be able to meet that? I don't know, because midway through the year we get in there, but let's see what happens, inshallah. I might or I might not, right? So the yearly dividend for the portfolio, again, if you want to check all of that information in the last video, but the income I'm expecting this year is 1,800. That gives me about 150 pounds. And some of you might think, okay, that's not a lot. But to be honest with you, a portfolio of 75,000 pounds right now, it's fine. Okay, I'm still building this, and the compounding effect will take over. These companies that I own are not just dividend paying companies, they're dividend growth companies. A lot of them are dividend aristocrats, dividend kings, and so on. They're increasing their dividend double digits some years. So this will go up. Okay, there are companies that I basically when I started this whole journey, that were paying, say, I don't know, less than 50 cents at the time, and now almost paying $1 plus. Okay, so they are increasing that dividend, and the more shares of these companies I acquire, the more I get paid. So inshallah, we will see where we are. I'm not too worried about it. My main concern is making sure that dividend is increasing, and if I can add companies that quality businesses that have excellent free cash flow, they have return on invested capitals, and all of these amazing things that we normally look for when we are analyzing stocks. If they do meet those criteria, then I will add to the portfolio. Now let's talk about the buys and the sales for the month, and then we'll take it from there. Now in terms of sales, okay, this is now gone. Adobe is no longer in this portfolio. Adobe is not a bad company. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing it doesn't have right now is dividends. And I'm going to try to keep this portfolio basically just dividend paying companies. That could change. If I find something I'll really like, then I'll probably buy it. Right now, basically Adobe has gone so, like when I bought it, it was on high valuations. And alhamdulillah, because of what's been happening in the last couple of days, it's gone up so much, I actually break even. And what I did is I took my money out. So right now there's a cash sitting here, okay, over £2,000, 2,200 pounds, and majority of that money came from the sale that I made here. So that has not been reinvested yet, I will be reinvesting. I'll give you some clues, but I will actually reveal what stocks that I'm buying next week with that money. So the companies that I've added to, I've not actually bought anything new. I've added to Rio Tinto, I've added to United Postal Services, I've added to Union Pacific, Cisco, 3M, Automatic Data Processing, and Public Storage. Each one of these companies are, I feel like, are undervalued at the moment. There are companies like 3M, for example. I'm trying to bring down my average because I'm actually down a lot. I'll show you in a second how much I'm down on this company. So I'm buying a little bit more here and there whenever I can. Rio Tinto, I've now started buying one share of this company every single week. And inshallah, my plan is to basically have at least 100 shares of this great company. They are dividend play. As you can see, you gain about 8% dividend yield. It's very high. They might cut that again, but it doesn't matter. For now, I'm comfortable with it. I'm going to hold on to it. United Postal Services, or UPS, have actually gone down quite a bit. For that reason, I started buying more last month, and I will continue buying this as long as it stays in the current valuations. Union Pacific has actually gone back up again, so I'm not buying it yet. So I'll wait maybe again just to see where the price is at right now. Maybe in the next few weeks I'll keep an eye on it. Cisco is another company that I've actually had in the portfolio for quite some time. I'm buying it whenever I get the opportunity. Okay, it hasn't gone up so much. They released their earnings recently. There was nothing too fancy about it. They just like slow growing company. They are moving away from selling actual basically hardware equipment to now more or less software as a subscription model side of things. So that's going to take a while. So that's what I'm betting on. That's what I'm hoping that the company will go to. So steady Eddie kind of company. Right now I'm just going to leave it. And Automatic Data Processing is actually down quite a bit, so I will be adding more to this company. And Public Storage is also done, so I will be adding to it as well. So overall I put in 1,000, let's call it 1,500 for this month. That it does not include the sale that I've made. So the sale is still out there, and that does not even include the last week's money, because last week I actually was supposed to add £250. I didn't, so that's why I've actually added £500 just on Friday, which we haven't spent yet. And obviously on top of that 500 plus this, that's what's sitting in the account, so we will be spending on that much money. So otherwise we would have actually crossed over about just £2,000 for the month. Again, what I tend to do is when the earnings season starts, there's a lot of companies that report really good earnings, but they go down so much. I take basically that opportunity to actually add to these companies or start new basically position and so on. Throughout the year, that's what, if you've been following me, that's what you see me do. So I buy a lot during that time, and then I dollar cost average throughout the year. So that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do. So these are all the sales. Here are all the buys for the month. Now let's look at individual stocks. Okay, so the companies that I own are 3M. So 3M, I have 40 shares right now. I'm down about £1,100 right now. There's a lot going on with the business. I've talked about it in the last video, so if you want to go and watch that. Okay, so right now my plan is to bring down my average. As you can see here, it's $144 per share. It used to be 160. It's come down quite a bit, so hopefully I can continue bringing that down. Air Products and Chemicals is another company that I really like, and I will be adding to this company. I haven't touched it in ages. I've talked about that in the last video. If you want to basically have a look at that as well. ASML is one of the companies that I will be adding to in the long run, but right now it's gone up a little bit, so I'm going to leave it alone because it is my biggest holdings right now. As you can see here, 6.5% of it is of my portfolio is actually ASML. 4,000 almost to £700 invested in that company, so I'm going to leave it alone for a bit. AstraZeneca, I will be buying more in the next few weeks, starting next week. Automatic Data Processing, exactly the same situation. I will be adding to it as well. Broadcom, one of my biggest winners right now. I am not going to sell it. I was thinking to take some profit off the table, but I'll be honest with you, it's dumb to sell your winners and keep your losers. It makes no sense. But at the same time, it's also smart to take some profit off the table, and no one has ever lost money taking profit. So for that reason, I'm looking at it now. I still haven't made a decision, but I think I'm going to leave it alone and see what happens, because at least until the next quarter and see what happens. Okay, when they report Q3, then we will see maybe. But for now, I'm just going to leave it alone. Cisco, we've already talked about it, is one of the companies that I like to buy here and there. It hasn't gone up so much, so I will be adding to it here and there wherever I get the chance. Cummins is definitely one I'm basically looking at to add to in the next few weeks. Home Depot, I think I'm going to leave it alone. The valuation seems a little bit rich. In comparison, Cummins, for example, right now it's trading low multiples. Home Depot is still trading high multiples. And at the same time, it's one of those companies, I've got already enough of that company for now. I think I'll probably leave it. If I bought it, maybe I'll buy one more share just to run it up to 15 shares. Now, this one here, like I said in the last video, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this. I need to do a little bit more research and see in the long run if this is something I want to keep in the portfolio. And the reason for that is because I really get excited about buying individual stocks, and this has been sitting for a long time. I haven't done anything with it. It doesn't do much. I've got paid recently about £7 or whatever it was. It's up about £75. Again, you would say it's better than this company, right? Because if I had put all that money in here, it would be steady Eddie kind of situation. Sleep well at night. You wouldn't have to worry about it. But there's something about buying individual stocks that I like. So I'm going to make a decision. And if I decide to keep it, you will see me adding more to it. Maybe make it about 5% of the overall portfolio and leave it alone. So I will either buy aggressively in the next few weeks or completely sell out of it. Whatever happens, inshallah, I will share it with you guys. J&J, I haven't touched it in age. 32 shares right now, £4,000. I think I'll leave it for now. Just collect it and see how it goes. Medtronics, I will be adding to it in the next few weeks. I haven't touched it in age, so I will be buying more in the next couple of weeks just to kind of bring down my average. At the same time, I think this company in the long run will bounce back and it will be in the green sooner or later. So when that happens, I don't want to be adding to it. Okay, before it runs away like Merck, for example, I want to keep buying more of it. Okay, Merck is actually one of the companies I'm up so much. Some days I feel like, you know what, sell it out completely, buy another company that's undervalued, and then buy it back if it ever goes down. But for almost a year now, it's been in exactly the same position. So I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? So we'll see what happens. I haven't made a decision. I'll be honest with you, the dividends is excellent. The company is growing double digits, so I probably will leave it alone. Microsoft, same situation. I'm not touching it. I would love to buy more of this company, but right now the valuations are very expensive, and because of the AI situations right now I'm up 60%. Procter & Gamble, I haven't done anything with it for a very, very long time. I'm hoping it will come back down to my fair values. Right now is $135 per share, not far. And again, $10. If it comes back down to that levels, I'll probably buy maybe another 20 shares or so just to kind of boost up. Public storage is another one that I'm buying regularly. Qualcomm, I'm doing exactly the same. RB, I will be buying more in the next few months as well. Rio Tinto, I'm buying one share of this company every single week going forward. I want to basically have at least 100 shares of this company. We'll see where that takes me. This basically appeared on my list today. Apparently, I'm getting a free share. Someone used the link description. Thank you very much, whoever you are. I think I'll get about £1 something. So I'm going to give it away because I don't think Rolls-Royce is actually Sharia compliant. So once I get it, I will sell it and then basically give that money to charity, inshallah. S&P Global is one of the companies I would love to add to, but now it's gone back up. So I'm going to wait. If it comes back down, I'll buy maybe another 4 or 5 shares just to kind of run it up to 15 shares. Unilever, I haven't actually touched it in a while because I've got the 100 shares that I wanted, and I'm going to leave it. I'm actually going to leave it unless it comes back down again into like mid 35s, then mid 30s, then I'll probably will leave it alone. Union Pacific, another one that has gone up basically just a little bit yesterday and day before. I've now owned 26 shares and a half. I want to own 30 shares, so I'll probably buy a little bit more in the next few weeks. Union Pacific, UPS, again the same situation. Visa is exactly the same situation, but I'm not going to touch it while it's still the valuation is this much. Okay, so you can see I'm saying I'm buying this, and genuinely I am. And you see me buy basically every single month. I actually buy more of the stocks that I own rather than starting new positions. So for a while now, I've had 25 shares. I've sold Adobe now. It's 24 shares, 23 shares right now. If you take this one out, it will be 23 shares overall. So as you can see, I really genuinely want now a not very concentrated portfolio, but I want to make sure the companies that I own are at least equally weighted, maybe 4-5% before I start new positions. Having said that, there's a couple of new companies that I'm looking at in the next few weeks. I will share it with you, inshallah, if I actually buy one of these companies, and I will tell you exactly why I'm buying those as well. As always, I'm going to share quickly I'm updating this right now, so this is not up to date. So the June, August, so I will share that with you guys very soon. This is not going to be the same anymore, so I'm going to add basically all the new companies that I want to add to the portfolio and so on. This was the old one. This was for last 3 months, so I will be updating this. This is my watch list. If you would like access to this as well, you get access to it through the through here as well. The final thing I want to show you guys is the income for this month. So as you can see, May 2023, in terms of rental income, that was basically the total take home. So with £484. Again, this is not to show off or anything like that, just to share my journey and just to be transparent with you guys. As you've seen, if you watched the last video, you would have seen that this is the dividends that I've received the last month, and the total income for this month from basically from the property as well as the dividends was £642. Now, some of you sitting there thinking, you know, that's not a lot of money for, I don't know, £150,000 investment. But I'll be honest with you, £150,000 between my portfolio as well as the property, it's a lot of money. But at the same time, this is just a starting point. With the compounding, in fact, especially with the dividends, inshallah, this will start basically increasing year after year, inshallah. And that's what I'm focused on. That's why I'm not buying high yield companies, because a lot of the companies that I own in this portfolio, like this one here, is less than 1%. Okay, you got 3%, 2%, through 2%, whatever, 1%. So it balances each other out. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm not just focusing on just the income yet. Maybe once I get to my 50s or so, then I'll probably start focusing more on the income side of it, and don't worry about basically these type of companies that I own right now. But as we speak right now, this is a lot of money as an income. Soon, inshallah, and I say maybe soon, maybe 10-15 years down the line, this will become enough basically for me to live off. Okay, if I can make £3,000 plus or 2,000 plus every single month, alhamdulillah, that will be absolutely amazing. So that is the long-term basically term plan. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing it because I'm not just thinking about tomorrow, I'm thinking about 10, 15, 20 years inshallah from now on. And that's what I need you to start thinking about. It's not an overnight thing. If you're sitting there, you know, you're very young, you've got a lot of time, you're buying a couple of companies, the dividends are not basically a lot, whatever. That's how I started. When I first started this portfolio, I wish I could show you. It's going to take me ages to go back into it. But when I first started, genuinely, I was getting like £1 basically a month, £2, £3, and it adds up. Okay, this is how I started basically my dividend calendar. When you look at this, right, this is how I started. Let me just dividend received. Right, £3, £11, and so on. And then basically the next following year it was 90 something pounds. The following year 190 something pounds. And I'm sure this June will be a record. Okay, so every single month you can see it's increasing, and this is what I want to see. This is basically the reason why I'm investing heavily every single month. So I hope this kind of thing helps you, and I hope you understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing these things. I'm not just some crazy guy who just wants to invest in stock market and stuff. And at the same time, I'm definitely not a financial advisor. What I'm doing is basically putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm taking a risk. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.